Have you ever dated like a celebrity?
I've never dated a celebrity, I don't think. I may have like hooked up with one or two in the shadows.
Rappers?
I can't tell you all the tea.
Okay. I know, baby. I know.
I don't think there was a rapper.
Y'all, Magic Johnson's son, E.J. Johnson, just put DL Hughley on full blast after DL Hughley made some homophobic and transphobic comments about E.J. that were kinda nasty. And now, everybody's side-eyeing everything. Because how do you go from criticizing someone publicly to getting exposed privately? And it doesn't stop there. Monique just jumped right back into the chat, dragging Hughley like she's been waiting years for this exact moment. And if you remember their history, then you already know this is about to get petty, personal, and loud. And EJ was right to clap back. And wait till you hear what EJ actually said in that interview that set all of this off, because that's when things really started spiraling. This is not just a clapback. This is receipts, old beefs resurfacing, and allegations that are way too specific to ignore. EJ did not come to play. So let's break down this chaos. Okay, so it all started when EJ went on the Reality with the King podcast, and he said some things that were kinda controversial, to say the least. In the podcast, he claimed that he looks better than every woman in any room he walks into, and claimed that women could never compare to him. He got a lot of backlash for those comments because it was giving competition with cis women. EJ has always gotten the side eye from a lot of people because he has a very weird history of putting down cis women to big himself up. So when he said that no woman would ever look as cute as him, safe to say that it did not sit well with a lot of people, and understandably so.
Like, even when I was a kid and like they were like, well, you can't wear skirts, and I was like, well, why not? You know, it's like my inner being was like, there's nothing wrong with this, especially if I look cuter than any girl does. Like, what's the problem? Like, what's the issue? And that's exactly how I apply it to myself to these days in the way that I present, like in my, you know, in my feminine regalia. You know, I've always been a feminine being, and like that's just like how I best express myself. But I'm like, listen, I'm out all the time, you know, and like I'm killing a dress and no one else is. Like the girls in the room are not doing it. Like they don't look cute. They're not dressed to any nines. So
fans left comments saying stuff like, bless his heart, money really makes folks delusional. He looks like an NBA player in a dress with an awkward neckline. Another said, ain't nobody checking for EJ like that. EJ acts like he's this big celebrity, sir. Your dad is the celebrity. What makes it extra offensive is the fact that EJ isn't even trans. I mean, sure, he dresses as a woman and refers to himself as one of the girlies, but he's still out here enjoying all the privileges that come with being a man while talking down on biological women. It's crazy. He claimed that he told his parents to stop using he/him pronouns and also stop referring to him as their son.
But even I told them on my birthday in June that I was like, we're not doing he, we're not doing man, we're not doing gay. Like, and it was very freeing. And also it just was, you know, it just was like, I wasn't like, I'm not, you know, and it's very important, I think too, when you're, and I hate the term coming out, but I think when you're telling people about who you are telling them. I'm not looking for acceptance. I'm not looking for your validation. I am telling you what's going down.
But at the same time, he's not exactly claiming she/her pronouns either. In fact, he even claimed that he feels the type of way when people use she/her or any other sort of pronouns.
Do you, are there pronouns that you go by today, or how do you identify your sexuality?
I just say, call me EJ as much as possible. Okay. You know, it's like pronouns I don't really like he, but like I've also trained myself not to get upset when other people use it, which I think is very important. Because you're giving your power away when you lose it. You know, you give words too much of personal power. You know, they is fine, you know, whatever.
It's giving he wants to look like a woman and act like a woman, just so he can hate on women without being checked. Oh, but wait, because the interview gets so much worse, and y'all are going to see why DL Hughley stepped in to check him. Anywho, back to the interview. EJ went on to claim that he only dates straight men and he isn't attracted to gay men. He went on to add that he only attracts straight men and has never had anything to do with a man who wasn't 100% straight. Take a listen.
I don't attract gay men, and I'm not attracted to gay men. Like, it's just not a thing. And I don't go to gay clubs. I don't go to, you know, gay things because it's like the men that I attract are not there. And also like they're like, you know, they kind of like wave you off. You're just like, oh, that, you know, hey girl, like, you know, it's not, you're not in here like the rest of us are.
Oh, and remember how people have been saying that he has been secretly competing with cis women? Well, he pretty much confirmed it in the shadiest way, saying that no woman could compete with him because he's better.
And I wasn't going to compete with all these other, you know, these other bitches who think that they're bomb and they're not bomb. And like, I just had to find a way to tell the story the way that I wanted to. And
Now this is where things start to get really interesting, because EJ then claimed that he had allegedly been secretly hooking up with some popular celebs.
Have you ever dated like a celebrity?
I've never dated a celebrity, I don't think. Well, I may have like hooked up with one or two in the shadows.
Rappers?
I can't tell you all the tea.
Okay. I know, baby. I know.
I don't think there was a rapper.
As you can expect, that moment blew up and everyone started to wonder who the celebs in question were. Well, the next thing we knew, DL Hughley did an interview where he talked about how irresponsible it was for celebrity parents to let their young children transition.
If you're still going to a pediatrician, if you need my permission to go to a movie, then I'm going to have a say in what happens. If you believe that isn't how you want to run your family, I have no choice but to respect that. But don't pretend as if it isn't an unpopular sentiment to a lot of people.
Well, look, the fact that Dwayne Wade went on a promo tour.
Well, for some reason, this made EJ mad, and he put Hughley on blast for being a hypocrite. And according to an insider, this is because Hughley was allegedly in EJ's DMs trying to hit that thing, if you know what I mean. This is wild, to say the least. But then, this isn't the first time that DL Hughley has been accused of being on the DL. And y'all know who was right there to clown him? Mo'Nique, that's who. The drama really started when Mo'Nique got announced as the headliner for the Comedy Explosion show at the Fox Theater in Detroit. And you already know that the headliner spot is everything. Huge venue, big crowd, all the attention on her. But yeah, that's not how it ended up going. When the show actually happened, Mo'Nique didn't even close the night. She ended up going second to last, and the final spot went to DL Hughley instead. And what really made it worse is that she barely had any warning. The contract had supposedly been signed weeks earlier, but she only found out right before the show that she wasn't headlining anymore. And instead of just doing her set and keeping it moving, Mo'Nique stopped and addressed it right there in front of the crowd.
The motherfucking contract said that a bitch is the headliner. The headliner. Let me say it again, the headliner. That's what the motherfucking contract says. Mo'Nique is to be the last motherfucking person on the goddamn stage. She is the headliner. That's what I signed the fuck up for. I'm 30 plus years in this motherfucking business and I don't open for no goddamn body. The contract said the headliner. The contract said the headliner. The contract said the headliner. But a nigga named DL Hughley turned into a bitch and said I won't perform if she does that. I won't go out if she does that. Nigga, you open for the kings of comedy. I close for the queens of comedy, nigga.
Now, the interesting thing is that, at the time, she hinted that he was on the DL and secretly had some shenanigans going on with men.
Nigga, your name is DL. What the fuck does it stand for? Hey, how far you bending over, nigga, on the DL?
Hughley responded to Mo'Nique's accusations on Instagram, and his reply was anything but civil. He posted this picture of Mo'Nique from the movie Precious and wrote, "All you have to do is check the order of names on the ticket stub from last night, and you'll see who's confused." Against my better judgment, over the objections of my team and 4 other occasions where I said no, I decided to take a chance and work with Mo'Nique. Oprah was the problem, Tyler Perry was the problem, Charlemagne was the problem, Steve Harvey was the problem, Lee Daniels was the problem, Netflix was the problem. Now it's my turn. He continued, "At some point it can't be everyone else, it's you." Lesson learned. I didn't have anything personal against Mo'Nique. People paid a lot of money to laugh, not hear about your contract. Apparently the role you played in Precious turned out to be an autobiography. I wonder who's next. Daryl Lynn Hughley. EJ Johnson dropped the allegation, DL Hughley got caught in the fallout, and Mo'Nique made sure the pressure stayed on. Now it's not about opinions, it's about perception. And right now, The narrative is loud, ugly, and sticking. Because once your name gets tied to something like this, you don't just shake it off. You wear it.